On October 8, 2018, Hurricane Michael underwent a 48-hour rapid intensification period where it went from a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 4 hurricane. By landfall on October 10, 2018 at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, Hurricane Michael was an unprecedented for the region Category 5 hurricane, making landfall near Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. Hurricane Michael was the strongest hurricane in recorded history to make landfall on the Florida Panhandle. Landing with sustained winds of 161 miles per hour and a minimum pressure of 919 millibars, the storm was the fourth most powerful hurricane to hit the United States, spreading devastation far inland through many counties in northwestern Florida, from Bay County, Gulf County, Calhoun County, even through Jackson County and Leon County, where the state capital is located. Hurricane Michael was unique in that it maintained its major hurricane status all the way through the Florida-Georgia state line. As it entered Seminole County, Georgia, it was still a strong Category 3 hurricane. Across northwestern Florida and into the state of Georgia, Hurricane Michael was responsible for $25 billion in damages. These are the 31 voices of Hurricane Michael, representing the many unique experiences and perspectives of the community members who endured the storm and its impacts. Voices of hope, empathy, pain, lessons learned, grit, determination, and extensive insight into one of the most catastrophic hurricane seasons the Florida Panhandle has ever encountered. I'm meteorologist Melissa Thomas, and allow me to introduce you to
I'm meteorologist Melissa Thomas, and I'm here with a couple of Hurricane Michael's voices today. We have with us Gloria Lopez and Miss Darlene Sharpe. So to start us off, I want to go ahead and introduce how Panama City was home to you guys pre-storm.
Well, we've been here 20 years.
20 years.
I came here, my daughter was living here, and she worked on me for about a year and a half to move down here.
Yeah.
And finally, I just gave up and stood up in the office one day and said, I'm going to Florida.
Where'd you come from?
Texas and Oklahoma.
Oh, so you know storms.
Yes. Yes.
And where I was working in an apartment complex, she was my boss. So she asked me, do you want to go to Florida? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, I'll help you move there.
Yeah.
And I helped her move here, and I'm still here. Never left.
I love that.
Never left.
That is awesome.
I intended to go to California to live with my sister, and that never happened.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with the ocean.
And this is not a bad place to end up.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's beautiful.
It was gorgeous when we got here, and I loved it the way it was then.
Yeah.
You know, we still had the mom and pop stores, the mom and pop motels.
You've really seen it grow.
And you could go down Front Beach Road and actually see the water. Now
no
you
way.
Can't.
I
now
don't
you
believe
can't.
you.
No.
Now, I mean, everywhere you look, there's a condo, you know, and but it was gorgeous. I mean, we got lost several times out there.
Yeah. When we moved in, I think it was like Laguna Beach,
Okay.
a little cottage, and we could walk. As soon as I got off work, we'd walk to the beach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just like a block and a half from the water.
Yeah, the dream.
So it was nice. It was really nice.
Now, are you still living beachside, or did you relocate to more Panama City territory, like proper Panama City proper? Is that what you mean?
On the edge of Springfield, like.
We're
but
close
still,
to where?
we're still in Panama City per se.
Yeah.
Just off of 231.
So you're actually closer to where I grew up. Yep. Mm-hmm. Near the Springfield Callaway area.
Right.
Kind of where I was located
on the north side of it.
Okay.
You know.
So 2018 hurricane season rolls around last year. How are you feeling? Are you feeling prepared? What was the summer like leading into landfall on October 10th for Hurricane Michael?
Well, I think we were prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to get prepared every year for hurricane season. You know, we stock up the water and we put away food and all that kind of stuff. But we prepared for a 3 because that's what they said it was going to be. When it hit, it was a 3.
Yep.
I went to bed that night on a 3.
Yeah. And a lot of people woke up to different.
Got up to a 5.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know what to say. It was just.
What an alarm clock. Talk about, like, you probably didn't need coffee that morning. You woke up, you saw that.
No, I think I
Awake.
needed something a little stronger.
Very true. Very true. So tell me about during the storm. I mean, what was
Go ahead, Gloria.
what was it like?
We didn't evacuate like
Yeah.
she said because it wasn't supposed to be that magnitude. But when we woke up, it was like total different world.
Yeah.
The silence, and we were going to each neighbor's house, you know, flashlights, hollering their names. Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? And we're just all together in a bunch going to all the neighbors.
Yeah.
And
now
then
this is after the actual worst of it rolled through the eye.
Right.
So, now,
Right.
did you
Right.
wake up after the eye passed over? Did you sleep through
No,
that?
no,
Oh,
no,
we
no,
were-
no.
Okay,
no.
I was
she,
like,
she had
awake.
skipped ahead.
Ooh.
We were in 2 lawn chairs in this little hallway type thing between her bedroom and the bathroom.
Yeah.
This is where we were sitting.
Mhm.
Not me. I'm pacing the floor, and I'm trying to look out the window. She's
Yeah.
screaming, "Don't get away
Don't
from
look out the window."
Oh, that would be me and all
And
my
I
best
looked out,
friends.
and across the street, the trees were just going like this, you
Yeah.
know. And we had a lot of trees in our yard.
Yeah.
And we had this humongous one in our backyard. It shaded the whole backyard.
Oh, no.
That went and landed on a neighbor's house. But you know, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
not at
was
all.
it was kind of a shock. Our dogs are on the couch just chilling, and they don't chill during storms, but they were chilling, and Gloria and I are sitting there, and all we're
Really?
doing is praying. You
Yeah.
know,
Right. Yeah.
she was wearing her mother's rosary beads,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was wearing some beads that I had gotten her as a Christmas present that had been blessed by the priest.
Oh, there you
And-
go.
and I don't know how to use the beads, but
Yeah.
I was wearing them
Yeah.
and holding on.
So then back to the, pivot back to where you guys are walking around the silence. And I've heard that multiple times and it was quiet.
It was very quiet. To share my experience through the storm in a trailer is like you could see the windows. The
Mhm.
windows started to like
You were in trailer?
in the trailer.
Yes.
It was a trailer.
3-bedroom trailer.
Yes.
Wow.
The wire-
That's a
Yes.
whole new ball game right
Yeah.
there. I'm
Yes.
imagining
Yeah.
a house. Wow.
Double wide trailer.
The water was
Goodness.
coming in through all the windows,
It's running down the walls.
and the back door I had to tie it to the washer because there's no way I was able to hold it, and you could hear it,
It was popping,
you know,
Yeah.
you know.
and you
Imagine.
could feel the floor under your feet trying to give.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my gosh,
the
yes.
sound that I heard was like 1,000 freight trains passing by both sides of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine.
We got it from the southeast,
Mhm.
and then it came from the northwest.
Yeah. When the
So
eye
we got
came
it
over.
as it came around us.
Yep.
And when it came more from the west, it seemed like it got worse. But
Yeah.
I could hear
I see
water running, and I thought, I ran to the kitchen thinking there was just water, leaking around the window, and I grabbed a towel on my way, and
Yeah.
I said, Gloria, it's running down the walls.
There's no
Like
way
water,
to
there's
stop
can't
it.
catch it. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was running from where the trailer is put together. It was just running down there and running right straight down the walls. It was something else. I mean,
So
I
you
was
s-
just
so you-
flabbergasted.
So you survived the category 4 at the time, what ends up being officially a 5.
Right.
Hurricane Michael in a double wide trailer.
Yes.
That just
Yes.
that
I mean,
blows my
It
mind.
rocked.
And I know there were multiple people that definitely stayed in trailers because you have no choice sometimes. I mean, there's
Right.
there's no shame in just doing what you can with what you have.
Right.
And
right.
but that's definitely not recommended. I remember being on the phone
Not anymore.
with my best friend, and she lives in a trailer with her parents, and they thought they were going to stay, and I was crying. I was like, call my parents, go to my house, do not stay in the trailer, do not stay in the trailer. But some people had to, and that, I cannot imagine that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
She would rock a little bit, she'd bounce a little bit, and do this a little bit, but
Yeah.
she held
I-
together.
I-
and I'm
I-
telling you,
we just kept
God had
praying.
to have his arms around us.
Yeah.
And
Because if that
Yep.
tree that fell on the neighbor had fallen this way,
Yeah.
it would have landed right on top of us. It would have gone right smack dab from end to end of that
Yeah.
place.
Just cut it
Because it would have taken us out. And it was just.
Well, I am so glad you two are here to tell this story.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, now it's a story. Now you're like rock solid. And that is just, I am like in awe.
Woo,
That's awesome. So then immediately after the storm, you're checking on neighbors.
We're checking on the neighbors, and it was like getting really dark out there and water everywhere. You had to climb over trees on the road to get to their house, and it was just.
We had a big tree limb had fallen onto the back deck and it blocked the back door. So we went out the front. And when I stepped out on that porch, I could hear nothing except water dripping off the roof. That's all I could hear. It would just drip, drip. But, you know,
so quiet.
That's all I could hear. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, what's going to happen next? I mean, I was just, I felt like I had been dropped in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a little bitty rock. And there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then we, you know, like she says, we went and checked on neighbors and that kind of thing. But I think that was the shock, was the initial, was the silence.
And we've actually, that comes up quite a bit. And I think also too, with the natural physical silence that you're experiencing, the contrast between what you just went through, that internally experiencing that silence was probably amplified.
Oh,
yes. So it was like even more quiet just because of what you had just gone through, like night and day.
Yes. And then, like she said, the darkness. I have never seen such darkness. I mean, it was pitch black.
And this is middle of the day, like this is at this time, maybe 1 or 2.
Nothing. Yeah. I don't know what time it was. I lost track of all time.
When the eye went over.
You know,
so to be that dark in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and then it was so hot at night. Oh my gosh! And
you
you couldn't leave your doors open because somebody may come walking in on you. You know, you don't know. And so, it was hot. Oh my gosh! And of course, no electricity, no water.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Gloria had taken one of our extra trash cans that we use for storing some wood.
Yep.
And had set it out and had
caught the rainwater.
Caught all the
That's so
rainwater,
smart.
and we had 5-gallon cans sitting out behind it, catching all the water that we could catch. You know, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So thank goodness she did that.
And like for light, since the power went out, I always go to different stores, you know, Big Lots or Freight Harbor, and I buy these little gadget things for light. Darlene said, "Why are you buying all these things?" I said, "You never know, we might need it." Let me tell you, all them little gadgets were all over the place. Lit up the living room.
Got a little
made a believer out of me.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, before the storm, I said, "Well, we've got candles, we got flashlights. You know, we're going to be all right. It's only 3." And I expected some damage, some wind, and heavy rain. Never to the extent what we got.
You were not alone in that.
I think a lot of people were shocked.
Yeah. So then the couple of weeks moving through that, I mean, and maybe the weeks were, from my experience in conversations and experience in my family, the weeks almost feel like the same as the months. There's not, it's almost the same scenario for each one.
Right.
Because not a lot changed very quickly.
Oh, no.
No. We were 13 days with no water and 15 days with no electricity. So that rainwater sure came in handy.
Yeah. And luckily, the only thing that survived was a little tabletop grill. And we had charcoal and fluid. So every morning, Darlene would put it in the front porch. We had to try to cook everything we had or give it away because we lost a lot of food. And she pioneer days, back in the cowboy days.
You never realize how much we take for granted until you
Exactly.
don't have it.
Right. I'd take my little percolator coffee pot, my little granite one about this big, and I'd go out there and I'd build me a fire and I'd put the coffee on. And by this time, Tampa Electric is working our area.
Yeah.
And the Gulf Power substation is just right down the road, just 2 blocks from our house.
Yep.
So every morning I'm out there with my little percolator and my cup of coffee, and they're going by.
Yep. And you said this was Tampa Electric.
Tampa Electric.
They were our saviors.
Linemen coming from different
They were our heroes.
Cities.
They were.
So you got to see that up close and personal.
Oh yeah, I counted them all. I waved at everybody.
No.
And she had put out her Texas flag
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
from Texas.
And a
There you
guy,
go, that's right,
a guy
yeah.
from Texas stopped and asked if he could buy that flag because he hadn't brought one with him.
Oh.
I think he was from Austin, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was from Austin, and
Oh,
he
there
had
you
forgot
go.
to bring a flag with him.
To
Because
rep
everybody
where
was
he's
flying a
from.
flag, you know.
Yeah. Helping
And
him.
so she says, "I'm not going to charge you for that. You just take it." So now she knows I have a Texas flag.
Someone send me a Texas flag.
Yeah, there you go.
But they, when that limb came down, it tore the thing right off the trailer. The where your electric comes in, tore the box and everything right off
Yeah.
the meter. Luckily, the way it landed, it didn't break the meter, so we didn't have to get that part. And a couple of guys came, put it back up, and they had hooked the electric to it, but they couldn't turn us on.
Yeah.
Why was it? Why couldn't they turn us on?
It's
They-
interesting.
we-
My parents went through the same thing. I
Because
can't remember why either.
The neighbors all had electric, but we
They had-
didn't have it yet.
I don't remember if it was they had to wait to someone from our electric company to come.
I
Yeah.
don't
Something like
remember,
that.
but anyway,
Yeah.
they took the wire and they just rolled it up and
Mm-hmm.
hung it on the pole.
So it's kind of like a teaser. You're like that close.
Right.
You're not quite there yet.
So the Bill, who was the manager, I guess, he was in charge.
Yeah.
He was going down to the plant to get some parts, and he came back by and he saw that wire on that post, and he said, "Why didn't you come and get me?" Because we had seen him several times. He had stopped and they had hooked us up as far as they could. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yep.
And I said, I
We were waiting on Gulf Power.
They
Yeah.
told us we had to wait for Gulf Power. Somebody did. And so he said, "I'll be right back."
Oh,
So he went up the road and got some guys, and they came back and hooked us up.
there you go.
Wow.
And they stayed with us until they made sure that our air conditioner would come on.
That's
They stayed. We were all gathered around the unit outside.
Like, come on, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, compressor.
And it did.
It
It
did.
did.
On, and I said, "Oh, thanks." So we gave them all
Yes.
big hugs and everything. So I mean, they were on it.
Yeah.
That crew was hustling
Very
to
nice.
get the power
So
back
good.
on, and they were great people.
This is actually a good moment during the project to thank all of the linemen that came into Bay County
Oh, absolutely.
and got everybody hooked up.
I don't
Yep.
know what we
That's a
would have
big
done
thank you.
without them.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
and
you.
I'd go down the road, and there was truck after truck after truck, and guys were on the poles and everything. And I give them so much credit, and I'm so grateful
Very
Yeah.
grateful.
that these crews came from not only Florida, they came from
States.
Texas, they came from
Everywhere.
Michigan, they were here from Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
Ohio, Texas, I mean, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to them.
When I was watching all of that from afar in Tallahassee where I was studying, I remember thinking that, like, of course, if someone from the cosmos came up to me with the power to say, Michael never happens, then without batting an eyelash, Michael didn't happen. But I'm still so very grateful to have gotten to witness that humanity. Like, that silver lining,
Right.
to
Right.
have exposed us to what mankind is capable of in your
Right.
own home,
Right.
your surrounding homes.
Right.
And that is something that will never be taken away from us.
Yeah.
As much as Michael took away from a lot of us,
Yeah.
we
Right.
have that. And that is
Exactly.
so powerful. That's
Right.
so powerful.
Right. Gloria, tell them about
My job?
about your experience with the trailer kitchen.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. To start off is that we couldn't go anywhere to get anything to eat. Like I said, we lost a lot of food. We're actually running out of food.
Yeah.
But our job, thank goodness, it didn't get totally destroyed. And I think like maybe a week or two later, I saw a post on Facebook where they had food for us. They had food, they had gas, and then
Water.
later on, water,
Ice.
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 Oh my
yeah.
God. The first bag of ice I got was a friend of mine. I don't know where she went, further past Southport, and she found some ice.
Oh, wow.
And she brought me a bag of ice. I saw that bag of ice and I hugged it and I kissed that bag. And all I wanted was ice. You know, here I
Yeah.
am losing weight, not eating right. I just wanted
I
ice.
just want ice.
I took
Yeah.
my little Dr. Pepper.
Another
and-
thing we take for granted.
Yes,
Yeah.
poured it in that ice, and I mean, I sipped that little thing. Sipped
That's
it.
all she
awesome.
wanted
So grateful for that ice.
was a Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper on ice. That's all
Yeah.
she wanted.
Oh, my boyfriend could identify with that one. Yeah, big fan of Dr. Pepper.
And like I said, it was hard to get anywhere, but when the streets were kind of, you still had to go around, falling wires and things. But
Yeah.
my job was my hero because they gave us food and water, and then eventually later on, they even supplied us gas for our vehicles. And,
Where do you work?
Train in Lynn Haven.
I did hear a lot of good things about
Yeah.
Train.
They brought in tractor trailers full of food and ice and sodas and
Everything you can
anything you
imagine.
could think that you needed. They got it.
That's
Dog
awesome.
food, cat food. They weren't too sharing on paper towels, but
But
they had all kinds of stuff.
and I repaid them back. I went and volunteered 3 or 4 times to pass out to the other employees.
There you go.
And it was hot out there, but it's like I was very grateful for what they did.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
It was
Amazing.
That was a true blessing.
And there was one story that really touched my heart that made me cry. Is there was a lady and her husband came from Alabama. Is that
I
right?
think it was Alabama.
Her little boy and girl wanted to help Panama City,
No.
so they made ham and cheese sandwiches.
Aw.
And
The
they,
kids made them.
yeah,
Good children.
and they pulled up and said, we were sitting outside on the front porch, and they said, would y'all like something to eat? And I looked at Darlene, I'm like, well, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm always hungry.
So they gave us a little bag with a ham and cheese sandwich, a little chip bag, and a cookie, and they told us that their children wanted to help us. I mean, that really touched my heart. I just wanted to cry. And when I ate that sandwich, it was the best ham and cheese I ever tasted in my whole life. Because it had a lot of love in there, you know, from
That is
strangers.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Strangers going.
The little helping hands.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
like when they
Right.
always say look for the helpers.
Right.
Sometimes those helpers are little.
Little
That is
hands.
So
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then
Red Cross come through also. And, and then we had so much stuff from my job. And I looked at Darlene, what are we going to do with all this food? So we went to our neighbors, we gave some to our neighbors. And then I said, there's got to be somebody else that really needs it. So we drove down Northeast Avenue, and there's a trailer park there. Can't remember the name.
Yep.
And
Cedar Grove.
Cedar
Yeah.
Grove. And we saw this lady, and I said, ma'am, do you need some food, water, ice, anything? She said, no, ma'am, I'm good. But down the road, the last road, there's a lady named Naomi. She started a community kitchen. So I told her, look,
Okay.
go over there. So we went up there, and sure enough, they were out there cooking, and like they had the grill and all the necessities. A guy down the trailer or two from them had a grill and a generator for a refrigerator to keep things cold. So we just started unloading, and oh my God, we helped probably about 6 families there.
Oh yeah, there were 6 families left down there at the very end of that trailer park.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of damages. Well, in fact, Naomi had one room left of the trailer she was in, was her bedroom, and that's where they were living.
It was like
Goodness.
nothing there.
Yeah.
There
Just
was
the
nothing.
frame.
Everything was gone.
The frame
just that little-
and
Just
little
the one
room.
little room left.
She
on the
said
back
that was
end.
her oasis or something.
That was her oasis.
And she's busy like trying to run a kitchen and
For the-
people around
yeah.
her with just a room left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
That's
And
just-
so that helped us, knowing that we were helping others. You know, sometimes it's better to help than be helped.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when Train was donating all this food to all their employees and everything, and we had plenty, and so we wanted to share it.
That excess.
And so
yeah.
Gloria said, well, let's go down there and see
Yeah.
if we can help somebody. And then the next week we went around to the other one that's off of Sherman
Right.
to see if anybody in there needed anything. But
That's actually where my best friend lives, is one of the trailer parks in that little vicinity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Her
Oh.
family didn't sustain too much damage. They were very, very lucky. They did not stay through the storm. I was a bug enough. I was calling back throughout the night. They ended up going inland to a friend's house, but yeah, they're
that's
still
good.
living in the area, so
Oh,
it was
that's
very,
good.
very,
Well,
very
good,
lucky.
Good. But we were blessed
Yeah.
in so many ways. You know, I mean, first of all, to trailers in one
Survive.
piece.
Yeah.
We're all in one piece. Our animals are safe. Our trees are all gone, of course.
We did have roof damage and around structural at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It stayed intact.
yes, that was the main thing. And then I got hold of. We had so many trees down that and we weren't capable of taking care of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got hold of this. I don't know how I found them, but it was a church group out of Arkansas.
Really?
And they were helping people here in town, and I can't remember how I found them. Anyway, they came and cut down all the trees, cut them up, and moved them out
Yeah.
so that they were alongside the road.
Yeah.
And we had this one stump of the tree that fell on the back porch, about this high. And I asked them, I said, would you please cut a cross in that?
Oh, there you
And
go.
he cut a cross, and Gloria keeps a light on it, a solar light at night,
Oh.
so it lights up.
Yeah.
And so that was another blessing, and that something like that will restore your faith in humanity, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, when you get help,
Yeah.
as well as giving it, it restores your faith.
And kind of helps you keep grounded too, because
Right.
Yes.
restores your faith, keeps you grounded, and like without community members like yourself, I mean, it sounds like the storm hit, and then out the gate, you guys were
Yeah.
figuring out what you were going to do next.
Right,
And,
right.
Mhm.
I mean, well, you have to. You have to go into survival mode.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're not going to survive.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we'd have had any sense, we
Yeah.
would have loaded up and left. But
Well, it sounds
you know,
like for
I never
your-
said I had good sense.
It sounds like for your neighbors that you were a blessing to be in the area. As fast as
Well,
you.
I hope they look at us like that.
Yeah,
But
it
they're good
sounds-
neighbors.
sounds like-
They're real good
Sounds
neighbors.
like they are to me.
It was so funny though. In some of the supplies that Gloria got from her job there at Train, there was Jack Link. What is it? Beef jerky.
Beef
Oh,
jerky.
okay.
And so we were fixing up a little box to take to the next door neighbor. Have some canned goods and stuff.
And
that we had.
gas, a little everything.
And so Gloria said, "Oh, let's take him a bag of this beef jerky."
Yeah.
Well, oh my goodness,
Oh,
you would have thought we'd brought him a bag of gold. He,
I mean,
he didn't even look at nothing. He said, "Well, thank you," and he grabbed that bag and headed for the house.
I don't doubt it. Beef jerky is not a very inexpensive item.
No, it's not.
It might as well be a bag of gold.
Mhm.
So that was his
What a
favorite
sweet
in the
thing.
world.
Yep.
So,
But we gave until we just
So
had just for us.
oh,
you know.
and then when the post office had their food drive,
yeah.
we loaded up one of their little mail delivery trucks. We loaded another one of them up
Oh,
with supplies. Yes. Because I was afraid that it's going to start spoiling or running out of date,
Yeah.
you know. So I told Gloria, I said, I was going to fix up a couple of boxes and, just set them out there. And Gloria said, "Oh, no, we're going to load it up." So
There
she
you
started
go.
carrying stuff out there and loaded it up, filled it up. And the driver said, "Well, I'm going to take pictures of this because nobody's going
Yeah.
to believe it." So
Mhm.
she was taking pictures of how full her mail carrier was.
I got to take a picture with him too.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the year anniversary. How's the year been for you guys? I'm not going to say adjusting to the new norm because I've decided after hearing input from someone else that I interviewed, she did not like new norm.
No.
Not like new norm. And I have to agree with her. The, post Hurricane Michael and rebuilding our home, how has that been for you the past year? Coming up on the anniversary.
Well, to be honest, it's been a rough year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're blessed that we've still got a place to live. We've got food in the house and the bills are paid.
Yeah.
But it's been rough. Every day or every week, I'll go down a street that I go down all the time, and I'll see something else that's either torn down, torn up, or something, and it just shocks me back. So I can't say that I am progressing that much
Yeah.
as far as, per se, getting over
Yeah.
Hurricane Michael. And looking for this hurricane season, I mean, the thought of another one hitting us, terrifies me. Absolutely terrifies me. I'm even afraid of a thunderstorm anymore. I've never been
Yeah.
afraid of thunderstorms, but I am now. You'll never get over
Yeah.
it. What we saw during this storm, after this storm, it's embedded in your mind, in your
Yeah.
brain, and you don't. You think, oh, there used to be something there.
Yeah.
Well, what was there?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see Panama City rebuilding.
Yeah.
But if there is a new norm, I don't like
Yeah.
a new norm. I wanted it back like it was.
Yeah.
But of course that can't be.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to adjust and adapt to
Yeah.
what the cities and the people are doing.
And I think with community members like yourself, Panama City is going to rebuild and thrive. Like rebuild, eventually thrive is down the road.
Right.
Rebuild is something we'll probably be doing for a few years.
Right.
But
Definitely.
with you two here, just from these stories we've talked about, I think Panama City is going to be in good hands.
The way I see it is like, I know I'm going through some form of PTSD because my temper's like real short sometimes, and if I'll lose something and I just go like nuts, like, oh my gosh, where is it? But every time I'm outside, when I have to take the dogs outside, I see that cross that church carved, and it just brings me right up.
Yeah.
And I see it as a new beginning for us all, spiritually and growing together and seeing everybody help each other and us doing, that's what got me through it.
Yeah.
Being able to go and give, like she said, not necessarily receive, but to give to somebody and see their faces, even a little child with some jerky or whatever, you know, it's like, oh, thank you, you know, I mean, I see it as a new beginning, and it's going to take years.
I like that. A new beginning.
A new beginning.
I like that.
I like that better than new norm.
Yes.
Yeah, a new beginning.
There we go. Okay.
A new beginning.
I'll have to share that with my friend. No new
Yeah.
norm, a new beginning.
A new
Right.
beginning.
A little better. I like that.
Right.
Because we're going to build better and stronger, and the people out there is just amazing. They're amazing.
We met a lot of amazing people.
And strangers that would come from Alabama or anywhere, other states, to offer you food, go out of their way to come here. I mean, it's just amazing. All the power companies, anybody that does any kind of construction that are still here, you know, the roofers. I feel so bad for those roofers in this heat, but it's the human spirit coming together as one. And that, I see it as a new beginning.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today and sharing
You're
your
welcome.
story with me.
Thank you.
Through the hard, like scary parts, and then through the hopeful and inspiring, which is, like I said, that's what I really want the narrative to, if it lands anywhere and just helps one or two people going through a similar situation, their own catastrophe, fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, to hear someone as strong as you two, how you got through it, your experiences, so they don't feel so alone. I mean, it's priceless, I think. Even if we don't get to see who it helps. But I'm really grateful.
We know it will
true.
help someone.
We know it will help.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys came out today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you.